Okay, so I guess it's time for another video, maybe just a short one. I've got an American lock here. It's an 1100, and hopefully it'll be short because I feel like I've kind of got this one down. But the one thing I guess I wanted to add to my video last time about the 5200. There we go, is that if you're using a light enough tension on these locks, you'll feel when you've hit the shear line with the pin as opposed to hitting it with the serration on a pin. It'll just be slightly harder to push down, and that's the, there we go. So okay, this is my second attempt at the video, so I didn't start off by showing you the lock. I was already working on it. I'm not going to bother putting the key in and turning it and all that nonsense. If you don't believe that this was picked, then you don't believe it was picked. I'm not too concerned about that. But anyway, these locks, you know, they're really good practice, and once you memorize the binding order, then you can really get a feel. And again, it takes a little bit of just kind of randomly poking around in the lock. Once you memorize the binding order, which can be tough to detect with these locks because of the serrations, I believe, on the key pins. Maybe somebody else can help me clarify that. But because of the varying width of all the pins, once you've applied tension, it can bind on quite a bit of stuff, not just one pin. Or it can fail to bind, and the serrations can provide the resistance as opposed to the binding providing the resistance. So anyway, it's but once you get it, and that comes from just kind of mindfully poking around in the lock, you know, trying to open it several times and just being aware of, you know, being, I guess, a little systematic about it, you know, being aware of kind of where you started and what you did at each stage. So, you know, I know that on this lock you go to the first pin and then you go to the second pin. So I'll start at the first pin here. So first pin, second pin. Oh, and I dropped one. First pin, second pin, back pin. And I can tell by the way that back pin is dropping that I'm doing something wrong up front here. So sometimes I'm going back and accidentally dropping something. There we go, that time I got it right. And there it is again. Okay. So again, the thing I wanted to add here, once you know the binding order, then you can start getting a feel for when the pin is set as opposed to when you've just moved a serration across the shear line. And that's crucial. Again, as I said, if you're just pushing slightly enough, you'll notice that you can move it past a serration and you'll feel that little click-click of the serration moving, but then you'll get to a point where it's just slightly harder to push. That's when you've set it. So learning these locks is kind of a two-stage thing. You get the binding order down, then you get the feel for the setting pin versus not setting the pin. And you know, this is the second American I've had where you don't even have to touch one of the pins. I don't know if they do that on purpose, if that's a security mechanism or not, but anyway, there it is, American lock 1100. Now that I feel like I've kind of defeated this lock, I think I'm going to pass it along to somebody else and let them take a crack at it. Okay? Alright, thanks for watching.